Okay, so I want to talk today about things that keep cortisol really high. We often associate cortisol with stress, and we all have life stress, but there's a lot of stress that we can mitigate and modulate that is within our power. So let's talk about things that keep cortisol high. And when cortisol is high, remember that insulin is coming in right behind it because of the effect that cortisol is going to have on our blood sugar. So obviously that's my first step is blood sugar swings. So anytime we have a huge up or a huge down, the body's relying on emergency services for that to help kind of pull the body out of that stressor. So that's a requirement, right, of stress hormones. So if we're constantly doing that, that's going to be a constant drain on those emergency type systems in the body. The other thing is if we have poor sleep, we're waking up in the next day at a deficit. So if sleep is not optimized, you're waking up and you're not rested, or if you're waking often at night and struggling with insomnia. So if sleep is not optimized, it's going to perpetuate that cortisol, blood sugar, insulin cycle, even going into the next day. So we really have to be mindful of that. Doing too much of a good thing is often an inhibitor, I see, something that keeps cortisol really high. So whether we're not giving ourselves rest days, we're not having enough nutrition to recover from that workout, and it is deemed as a threat. Maybe we're doing fasted workouts or even a reliance on caffeine. Those are things that are obviously going to keep cortisol extremely high. Erratic meal timing. So not timing our meals when cortisol's naturally high as it should be to help us have energy, to help us have motivation and drive and all those wonderful things. But if we're not timing our food around that circadian rhythm, or even skipping meals and not being consistent with our meal timing, that is a stressor, and that will keep cortisol and even blood sugar high as well. And then of course, I can't go without mentioning our lighting environment. We are very much driven by blue and artificial light spectrums, which is immediately telling the hypothalamus to speak to the adrenals to make a little bit more cortisol. So we could have blood sugar dysfunction, metabolic dysfunction just from our lighting environment in and of itself. So if we're trying to modulate and regulate cortisol, we need to be optimizing our light environment. That means minimizing a lot of the artificial and blue as much as we can and getting good, proper sun signals throughout the day.